Hello, and welcome to Beyond Books, where we talk about books and always go beyond. I'm your host. I'm Renee. This is my co host, the lovely Raina, and we are back. My first day back on Booktube after having major surgery on June 19th. For those who may not know, I was diagnosed with breast cancer about 3 months ago. And so now I've had my follow up appointment with my surgeon yesterday, and everything's going well. The healing is going great. And what I just need to do now at this point is I have some follow up visits with occupational therapy, work on some arm strength, shoulder movement, things like that. And otherwise, all is well. I still need to meet with an oncologist. Just got an appointment today. That'll be on July 16th. And right now, the way things stand, it looks like I will not need chemo or radiation. However, that will be discussed with the oncologist when I meet with her. So, she'll give me the pros and cons of each thing, and we'll make a decision and move from there. So for now, it's probably only going to be oral medications, which are hormone suppressors. My cancer is very reactive to estrogen, so take away the estrogen. Hopefully, we don't have a return of the tumors. So it was stage 1 when it was found, and my lymph nodes have been clear. So, it's remained a stage 1, very treatable cancer. I'm very grateful, and I'm very happy to be at the stage that I'm at now. So, light at the end of the tunnel. So, let's talk about June in the bookish sense. Excuse me. Raina needs her rewards so that she'll stay in place and show you her cute face for the rest of the video. So what did I read in June? Well, I started out with You Like It Darker by Stephen King. This is his latest book. As you probably know, contains 12 stories. And I really don't consider them to be especially dark. Some are a little bit on the creepy side, but in all, it's actually a very enjoyable collection. And my overall favorite was a story called Rattlesnake. It was definitely, haunting, I would say, creepy. And I thought actually overall very well written. It had nice pace to it, and it's about novella length, really. I also enjoyed another story that's towards the end of the book called The Answer Man, which is about a man who can accurately answer questions about the future. So, sounds great, right? But when you think about it, if you only had a minute to think and ask your question and get your answer, what would you ask? And what kind of information would you really get? Would it be something that can help you in the long run? Who knows? But anyway, good story. Then next, I went to a banned book. I'm still working on the 24 BB banned book project. We're trying to read 24 banned books in 2024. And so I read A Raisin in the Sun. And this book is often not talked about on Booktube. In fact, I don't think I've heard anybody else talk about it. The author is Lorraine Hansberry, and this is actually a play. It debuted on Broadway in 1959. It does take place in Chicago, and the subject matter of the play is basically the kinds of challenges present in attaining the American dream, especially when the cards may be stacked against you. Specifically with regard to housing, I'm talking about now, so buying a home. And it seems like that's still a problem today, right? And I'd say there's also a theme of maybe like how to advocate for yourself and when it's appropriate to do that. So I'll talk more about this as a banned book in another video, probably later this week or over the weekend. So my next read was The Lion Women of Tehran. This is by Marjan Kamali. I had never read anything by this author before. This book is an early release from Book of the Month Club. Ooh, I should have looked up when it comes out. I think it comes out July 5th. I do mention it in my video, though. I'm going to put a link to that video because I did do a full review right before I went for my surgery. So the whole video is just the review of this book. So I will link that in the description box if you are interested in learning more about that book. So next, I went to a Western. That's right. It was June on the Range, so I joined in with the Sisters Brothers. This is a book by an author named Patrick DeWitt. This is fiction. Again, it is a Western, but it also has a good dose of a very dry, very subtle, sometimes pretty dark humor. And there were a couple of times that I actually laughed aloud while reading this book, which is good. This was right before surgery, so good to laugh. Basically, the story is about two brothers whose last name is Sisters. It's set in the mid-1800s. Excuse me. It's set in the mid-1800s, and basically the two of them are opportunists, the two brothers. They, in the book, are actually on a mission to take down a prospector by the name of Herman Kermit Warm, who is located in the San Francisco area. And so they travel from their home city of Oregon City, Oregon, down through California to look for Herman. The brothers really couldn't be more different from each other, but they're a team and they do protect each other along the way. So the story is told from the point of view of Eli, who is the quieter, more reserved brother. His brother Charlie is kind of a wild man, and he's a tough guy, and he usually ends up getting them both in trouble, and they usually find a way to get out. So it is a really fun ride. It's a fun book to read. It's a good story. It's well told, and I just want to say thank you to Jay of Faceless Book Reviews for the recommendation for this. It was fun and very good. So next up is another banned book that I read in June. This is Beloved by Toni Morrison. This is a difficult read in several ways. First, it's about slavery, and it's not shy about discussing all of the horrors that were a part of that time in our history. Second, the book does kind of jump around a lot in terms of the sequence of events, and it took me just a little bit of time to get used to the writing style and just to kind of put together all that happens in this novel. So, I did like the book very much, don't get me wrong, but I can't say that it's the easiest read for those reasons. So this has been on the banned book list for many years, probably since it came out in 1987. And the story takes place mainly at a kind of a cabin that is like a relay point, a meeting point for people who are getting away from slavery because it does take place as slavery is being abolished throughout the United States. However, there are some states that are in some areas that are still practicing slavery. And, everyone just can't be let go and allowed to just do what they want. It does not work that way, unfortunately. And sometimes people were hunted, kidnapped, brought back either into the situation they'd been in or into another horrifying situation. So there's always that threat. But the people that come together in this cabin hideout kind of place, it's located in Ohio, and they know each other. They are somewhat related, if you want to call it that. Some worked in the same household as other ones, and so they have this kind of loose association, and they kind of reform into a family there. And the book does, go back over things that have happened in the past. So, yeah, again, just kind of a challenging read. If I had to pick a word to describe the book, I would call it haunting. And there's no pun intended, because there is a spirit in the book, but it more kind of haunts your thoughts a little bit. And I'll talk more about the book again in a subsequent video. I will review that and Raisin in the Sun together as banned books. So finally, for the month of June, we have Ahab's Return, The Last Voyage. The author is Jeffrey Ford. And this is just a fun story. It picks up where Moby Dick left off. Only in this story we learned that Captain Ahab did not die. He was pulled into the sea. However, he survived his ordeal, and he shows up one day at the office of a local newspaper in Manhattan. He's gone there to try to find his wife and son. And so he talks to a reporter because he's looking for information. Well, the reporter ends up kind of joining forces with him, and together with kind of this other group of people they meet along the way, they end up finding out that the Ahab's son has been involved in gang activity, and he is addicted to opium. And they decide that they're going to rescue him from this gang that has been terrorizing people, and they're going to get him off of opium, and hopefully he'll get back with Ahab and everything will be fine. So that's their mission. There is a little bit of fantasy in here. There's a little bit of horror. There is some humor, and in all, it's not a bad story. It's just a fun story, and I actually have a few more pages left in it, and then I'll be done. So that was my June lineup. I have several buddy reads coming up. I have several tags that are waiting for me, and I still need to share my July TBR. And I have some ideas for some different types of videos. But for now, I just want to say that it does feel great to be back. And I thank you for all of your prayers, your kindness, your caring and concern. It's helped me more than you can even know as I go along this journey. So things are going well. I'm hoping that they continue to go in that direction. I know I'm going to do my part, and I plan to work really hard to finish up with my therapy and to understand what I can do in the future to keep myself healthy. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon.